Welcome back to Retail Therapy on the Sunday Scaries podcast feed. My name's Will. My loyal co-host in the studio with me, Barrett. Barrett, how's it going today?
Oh, it's going, man. I'm just out here living the White Lotus meme life, you know? It's so relatable. Like every emotion that you could possibly have in these in the last couple weeks of the year, perfectly summed up and encapsulated by one of the many White Lotus memes out there. And so, you know, Scaries has been touching on this as well, with a little bit of World Cup stuff, but like, what a week to have to work and to actually like legit like have stuff to still do. Like it's a tough look. It's a tough scene for those of us out here that just weren't able to button up everything before the 20th of December.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird time. Like, so this episode is actually airing January 1st.
That's right.
But we're
So
recording it the week before Christmas.
I should probably change my mindset to that of my January 1st mindset, which will obviously be New Year.
No. It's worth discussing that we definitely should not be doing anything this week. Like, there's to the people that took it off, like, one, I'm amazed that you're able to take like 2 straight weeks off. To the people that didn't take it off, just know that I'm with you in solidarity. As somebody who used to have to work a full schedule during the holidays, no questions asked. I'm not envious of anyone that has to work, so I'm just going to be thankful that as of when this episode airs, I've had the last week off and I don't really have too much to worry about. But Barrett, I'm going to do something that we should do more often, maybe in 2023.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Can I get a fit check right now? Because I'm loving your sweater right now is like Retail Therapy purple.
Yeah, Yeah, is this the purple that we're going for?
Like I don't know if it's what we're going for, but that's kind of the current purple of the Instagram, which is at retail.pod.
Okay.
At a ripe 8,100 followers right now. We're trying to get to that 10K by the time this episode airs.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's going to happen because I think I'm going to take the week off of social media between Christmas and New Year's.
By the way, we're back in action on the screen going on. If you like to watch this podcast,
big for everybody.
Yeah, that's huge.
I'm not ruling out that something goes wrong mid-episode, but if it does, we will prevail.
Yeah, but it's going to take me a minute here to get used to being back on the ones and twos, if you will. But so I'll just throw up what I've got here. This is from last season, so this color, this eggplant color, is not available anymore. But this is just the shaggy cardigan from Stussy.
It's good.
It's
real good.
You know, one of the easiest ways to get into the fuzzy mohair cardi look, because guess what? It's not actually mohair. It's just like like 60% nylon, 40% acrylic.
It's faux hair, dude.
Huh?
It's faux hair.
It's faux hair.
Fake mohair.
Or bro hair.
Bro hair. We can do that too.
Also bro hair.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that.
But it's a jam, dude. It is fuzzy and cozy and perfect for a little day like today, where it's just kind of gray and cold. And
we're trying to pack for Christmas, like up in Michigan right now, where it's going to be absolutely freezing, which I'm actually very excited for. But I'm so excited that I'm worried that I'm going to try to pack like every sweater that I've ever owned.
Right.
And I'm going to try to pack every pair of heavy pants that I've ever owned, every pair of boots that I've gotten. Like I don't need a pair of Blundstones and a pair of Solomon hiking boots up there. I just need one or the other. But I still haven't made those ruthless decisions yet, and it's kind of stressing me out.
Those are tough. Those are tough decisions to make. Now? How long is your trip again?
7 days.
Now, are you gonna? This is a domestic travel. Are you gonna check a bag this time?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to.
So the Italy trip where you went 10 days with just a carry-on didn't completely convert you into.
We did not have a kid on that trip, which is the big game changer. But we will be employing with our sweaters. We will be employing the shrink wrap mentality.
Yeah.
That is going to stay. Like that entire process has made our packing lives so much easier. So we will be continuing to pack and make our sweaters airtight. It just makes things so much easier on you.
It's a great. I gotta steal that. I gotta figure out how to do that.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy, and it helps that our son also is obsessed with the toy that. Or not, I mean, I call it a toy because he uses it as a toy. He is obsessed with the pump that sucks the air out of everything, and so it's a good thing to have when we're just traveling up there. Let's get some official business out of the way. We got an absolutely packed episode. We're kind of doing a little review of 2022. And but before we do that, go follow Retail Pod on Instagram at retail.pod. We're having fun over there. As always, we do a listener companion with most of the episodes. I would say 95% of the episodes get one. And you can find those at willdefreeze.substack.com. Go subscribe there. And as always, every episode of Retail Therapy, or almost every episode of Retail Therapy, is on YouTube at youtube.com/Sunday Scaries podcast. Please go make sure you go subscribe there, as you can watch that here today. And like Barrett said, he's got the ones and twos back when it comes to sharing stuff on the screen. So your experience of listening to retail therapy is only enhanced
I'm
by
back,
going over to
baby.
YouTube.
I'm back.
But I have some exciting news. We have a new sponsor today. This is exciting for numerous reasons. One, I like new sponsors. Two, this is a sponsor that is near and dear to my heart. When I first started Sunday Scaries 8, maybe even 9 years ago, I didn't really know what to do. Didn't know how to build a website. Didn't know how to do anything. And I went to a website where I Googled, what can I use in order to build a website that's going to look professional? And what I found was Squarespace. And what I did was built my website on Squarespace. I, kept up with it for so long, and I did everything through it. I did the blogging through it. I did the sales of merch through it. I did email blasts through it. I did everything. And if you're not familiar with Squarespace, you need to be. It is such a great way to start your business or just your personal website. It's an all-in-one platform for building your brand and growing your business online. You can stand out with a beautiful website. You can engage with your audience, and you can sell anything: your products, the content you create, and even your time. Like I said, this was really my entry point into getting into content. And so I'll always have a soft spot in my heart when it comes to Squarespace. I really like the aesthetic of the site overall, and it really allows you to make something beautiful that people will enjoy and people will like. So whether it came to the design part that they made so easy, the e-commerce part, which was also very easy, the email marketing part, it sends beautiful emails. They have several different plans that suit you, and you can even run your Google Suite through it. But they also have so many other features. You can connect your social media accounts that push content directly to your site automatically. They have analytics, so you can look at how all your posts do or how your sales are doing. And you can just have real-time information about your content or your sales channels. If you're like me and you want to start your own thing and you want to be happy with it and you want to have full control, go to squarespace.com/scaries for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code SCARIES to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Again, that is squarespace.com/scaries for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, just use code SCARIES for 10% off. All right, Barrett, we got a lot to take care of. We got a lot to take care of.
Okay. All right. Let me get dialed in here.
So before we look back, we're going to do something briefly and we're going to look forward.
Okay.
I have some bad news for you. Out of all the things that I prepared for today, this is the one where I feel the least confident. And I'm talking about any predictions that we might have for 2023 when it comes to fashion, when it comes to style. For me, a lot of the stuff that I would have put on this list was already covered in the In Out episode that we just did recently. And so I don't really have anything too crazy. So I'm interested in what you have for this first. And we don't have to do anything
I think
long-winded.
Well, there's a good chance that we're circling back on this. Ring the bell for in early, mid, late January, somewhere around that time when we've had maybe even February, maybe even after Q1 when we've had a little bit of time to digest what we see out there cooking for 2023. But I do have a couple of notes that have for 2023 that have kind of bubbled up just recently.
Okay.
The first thing that I think is kind of notable is that, and listeners can correct me if I'm wrong here, but did we ever feel? Did you ever feel like you were really close in age to the generation above you? Like, did we ever feel like we were really close to Gen X? Like,
No?
I didn't. I
No?
never got that sense, really. I guess there are some examples of it, but like, I feel like something interesting is happening right now where all of the Gen Z trends are just millennial high school things.
Yeah, correct.
Or middle school or high school things.
Correct.
And so I'm sure there are examples of that. Like maybe when like in like 2015-ish when we were doing like a lot of grunge stuff and like a lot of Seattle. I guess maybe that was like co-opting something that Gen X still felt was really recent.
Yeah, kind of
right?
that like MTV, like they were old when we were young.
So maybe that's kind of what's happening a little bit. But like a lot of the stuff right now, whether it's like some of the music that they're listening to or some of the TikTok trends or some of the kind of the looks in general that are populating TikTok and kind of like the younger trends right now. It's basically like Lizzie McGuire, Pen 15, late 90s to early 2000s, like limited to, but make it fashion style.
So one of the things I only have two things for this and they're completely separate, but one of mine actually kind of falls in line with this. And I'm going to attribute this to something that you have not attributed this to. And I don't know if you'll even believe me here, but I think the Barbie movie is going to trigger a bunch of people having like a very like, just kind of like bubbly, colorful, like summer vibe this year.
Okay. So
Even if that movie sucks, I still think there's going to be something that is like that limited to just kind of like bimbo summer, and I mean that in a nice way.
So that I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's going to tie into one of my 2023 fashion predictions, which there will be two main competing trends. One will be goth,
Okay.
or as they're calling it, soft goth. I don't know
Okay.
if you're up on all the Wednesday, on how hot Wednesday is right
I
now.
wish I was more up on it because I feel like I'm out.
It's huge,
Yeah,
and like Jenna Ortega is like the most popular person on the internet right now.
very
She's
much.
absolutely the main character, and everything about like her look and her style is being replicated. And there are hair trends and makeup trends and tutorials on all of that, and it's like a lot of black and like a lot of hot topic type stuff.
Guess how many
And
Instagram followers Wednesday Netflix has?
10 million.
They commented on a Scaries post the other day because I used Wednesday for a Sunday post, and they
Okay.
said, "No, it's Wednesday," which was actually a very good reply from them. 2.7 million followers.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a
The
television show.
the Netflix effect is really real. Like I'm getting off on a tangent here, but like remember when I remember looking up the kids from Outer Banks
Mhm.
after the first season and being like, yeah, I bet they're pretty popular. They all had like 12 million
To
followers
put this in
already.
perspective, White Lotus has 178,000 followers. And that has been covering my feed for how long? And, like, Wednesday Netflix has
Yeah, when a
2.7 million.
show blows up on Netflix, especially with young people, it is a different level of like content and internet saturation than when like an adult show like White Lotus on HBO blows
Mhm.
up.
Mhm.
You know. Anyway, so there was a little bit basically when all of those photos were leaking out from the set of Barbie with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, like in their costumes and everything. That kind of coincided with a pink moment in 2022. Kim Kardashian was wearing a shitload of hot pink.
Yeah, she
And so
was.
there, MGK and Megan Fox were on
True,
their like pink tour,
true.
and so there was a bit of a Barbie core thing happening. But I think that it will come back kind of with a fervor when that movie drops as well. And I think it will essentially run neck and neck and almost be like these two kind of. I'm sure that they will intertwine as well, but I think it'll be like the two running trends will be like this soft goth Wednesday thing and this Barbie core like splash of color
The movie of the summer always kind of
90s thing.
dictates some people's style, and whether like I mean, you saw it with Top Gun and the amount of mustaches that were flying
Yeah,
around this
yeah,
last summer. If Barbie is good at all, or if Barbie is popular at all, it's going to dictate people dressing like that bubbly kind of style. And I think it'd be kind of fun for the summer.
yeah.
I'm in. I'm in.
But that's kind of that's really my only kind of very like specific fashion prediction. Other than that, I expect to continue to see a lot of early 2000 stuff
I I I think yeah, it was kind of hard for
back in
me
full
to get
force.
through trying to come up with anything that wasn't just directly early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of like I don't really know where else to go with this.
Yeah.
I did ask you also for any 20 I love New Year's resolutions in
Mhm.
general. I always make about 10 of them so that if I fail at like a few of them, I at least have one or two that I like actually accomplished. Uh I think it's time for some 2023 style or fashion resolutions. And this is for us personally. These are things that we need to do for ourselves.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many did you come up with?
Um j- just one.
Oh, I came up with 5, but none of mine I will say that even though I will read all 5, I don't think all 5 of mine are worth like actually caring about that
Okay.
much.
Well,
There's
maybe I
maybe only
will
one that I think I would like to stick to.
maybe I will come up with a couple here just, off the dome.
Okay.
So I'm going to let you start with one or two of yours and then I'll give you one of mine which is almost more of a bit at this point.
Okay.
And then we'll see if anything else springs to mind.
One resolution I have, and this is to make my wife happy. It is I vow to stop buying black t-shirts. And I also vow to donate my black t-shirts that I'm not currently wearing because I need to get rid of them.
Okay.
It is a very bad situation where if you look at the stack of t-shirts in my closet, it's just like, why do you have 20 of these? I didn't have any as of 2019. And now I pretty much exclusively have black t-shirts. My next one is that I vow to wear my baggiest pair of pants before February 1st and make a decision on them before February 1st as well.
Okay.
I've had these pants sitting in my closet. They're over a 7-inch hem because everyone knows that's
Yeah.
what's in.
Yeah, right.
And I've
Yes.
been too gun shy. I'm not going to wear them to the office because I'll be overthinking everything all day. I'll have producer Randy eyeing me up the second I walk in, going, "Are those pants bad?" I'm just going to get too self conscious. So I think I'm going to have to like go out for a beer with somebody, wear my baggy pants, and just
Yeah.
see how I feel about it.
Okay.
And another one before we get to yours. I vow to start shopping for secondhand or vintage pieces, which is something I straight up never do
Mhm.
these days. And it's something I think I would actually enjoy doing. But this also has a two-parter in that I need to start selling my nicer stuff online rather than just like getting rid of it or letting it sit in my closet forever. And I need you to hold me accountable for that one. I
Yeah.
need to start selling some
There
of the nicer stuff.
there's a really wonderful kind of high-end consignment shop here called Moss on South Lamar in
Hmm.
Austin. Shouts to Moss. Laura has great success there. Like that, it might be her favorite store in Austin. Every time she walks in, she walks out with like at least a couple things at really good prices compared
Yeah.
to the retail value. And I mean, there's just like so much nice stuff that's like barely touched. A ton of it still has tags on it. Anyway, they used to do men's like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it was in that same store. And then they stopped. They did away with it with men's because it wasn't successful.
Yeah.
I saw an email from them just last week where they are thinking about expanding, and like they have a few options in mind.
Please do.
And
Please
one
do.
of the options was bringing back men's.
Bring back the men's.
So I really, really hope that Moss brings back men's, because it does take like, dude. I mean, I'm in the same, like, I am actively selling stuff right now, but it's so hard because like there's still a ton that I don't even have listed yet because it's a time commitment. It takes,
Oh, it is.
you
Yeah.
know, you got to get the right light, you got to take the photos, you got to list, you got to take the measurements. I mean, it's just,
Well, I
it's kind
think
of a
my
drag.
hang up is that I used to have to do all that for my job.
Yeah.
Like, get the photos, edit the photos, and I know you don't have to edit the photos to go on Grailed or whatever, but when it came to doing the measurements, writing descriptions, and,
Yeah.
like, I almost have PTSD when it comes to doing that, I'm like, "Oh, nope, I can't even do it in my personal life. I did it for too long as my job. I don't wanna do this anymore." But it's a necessity at this point, Barrett. It's a necessity. What's yours?
Okay, so my main one, which is just it's a bit at this point because this is the third year in a row now that it's going to be on my on my New Year's resolutions. I'm going to proxy from Japan.
What,
That I had.
please
This is the
explain.
third time that I've put it on my list. So this is now 2021 and 2022, where the year has gone by and I didn't hold myself to it. I didn't do it, and I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. I didn't do it. Okay, here's where this stems from. Super fashion or super popular brand in the streetwear and fashion world. I'm sure most listeners have heard of it. Capital,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Capital with a K. It's out of Japan. They've got some American distribution. You can find it at a bunch of different stores, like kind of little men's boutiques and specialty shops like that. For whatever reason, and by our I mean America's arrangement with Japan means that when these clothes are sold in a shop like Canoe Club out of Boulder, the price is like double what that garment actually costs through the Japanese yen to US dollar conversion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a huge tax on it. All you have to do to buy this stuff for the Japanese price, which is a massive savings, is like go through Zen Market or JPY, Rakuten, or something. There's a couple others. Zen Market is the big one that I've been super close to using.
What if we just have a
Now,
listener who,
the,
like,
the
maybe is living in Japan and wants to hook it up?
I mean, that would be a super easy way to do it. Because here, kind of the big problem is that it's a commitment. Because essentially, what you have to do is you have to put money into your Zen Market
Yeah.
account.
Do you ever do the
And
thing where
then
you
you have
shop
to-
on Japanese sites and you have no idea what anything says, but you're just clicking on like the clothing? I did that for
Yeah.
about an hour the other day and was like, "Will, what are you doing?" Like, you don't even know if you don't even know if this is adult clothing. This could be for kids, and you're just like sitting here clicking around.
So it requires like, and you want to make it worth your while, so you're probably gonna like spend like $500 or $600, and that means putting $500 or $600 just like in this random ass account online,
sounds
and
dangerous.
then like waiting 3 weeks to get your stuff over from Japan, and then like
The amount of
crossing your
stress
fing-
you're going to be going through,
crossing
where
your
it's like,
fingers
"Oh,
that it fits."
did this order even go through?"
Um,
It's like, this has been in customs in Bangladesh for 2
no,
weeks.
and already okay, one of my Black Friday purchases that I ended up making was I made my first ever purchase from one of Hidden's collaborations.
Mhm.
Speaking of fuzzy cardigans, they did a drop with needles, and I snagged the cardigan, and like you have to wait 3 to 4 weeks for them to ship shit, and it is I'm losing my mind about it. Like I
It's
can't.
tough, dude.
That's not for me, man. It's not
It's
for
tough.
me.
You go through all 5 stages of grief whenever you order a package. You're just sitting there and you're like, "What is going on? Where is this thing? Is it ever gonna come?" It's just the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
And like apparently, 3 to 4 weeks, like the bare minimum. A lot of times it extends to 6 or 7, and like drop a pair of socks in your box
Yeah,
for you.
I
Like I don't care about the socks, man. Just like don't make me wait a month for this. I can't do this. I'm not built for that.
I don't wanna talk shit on anybody, but I might have had something on my wish list from maybe an artist that might have done some prints, and the prints might have really started to arrive a little bit late. And when we emailed them regarding that, the long shipping based on what they originally told us, they kind of shot back and said, "We said by the end of the month." We're like, "Okay, sorry, sorry, you did not mean this month. You
Yeah,
meant by the
yeah.
end of the month. Okay, okay, sorry."
So I would really like to do this. I mean, even bigger savings on something like Visfum, which again, way cheaper if you can actually proxy it and get it from Japan instead of going through the whole import bullshit that jacks up the price on
Yeah,
all
I
that
mean, I
stuff like
mentioned this
crazy.
recently, and I don't think it's for the same reason, but like the Drake's US website versus the Drake's UK website,
Yeah, yeah,
things are much more expensive on the US website. It's devastating.
yeah.
It's devastating. So I'm going to proxy out of London.
Yeah, yeah, you might be able to do that as well.
I might just move over there.
The other one, and I've just added this one because it's something that I'm dealing with currently, and that I've been thinking about, and that I really do need to commit myself to this. And this is not a do, but a don't. I'm going to stop buying shoes out of FOMO exclusively.
Can you name a pair of shoes that you've bought out of FOMO this year?
Yeah,
Just an example.
yeah, I torched them on the in or out list.
Oh, the 550s?
But yeah.
Oh, you bought some this year?
Oh, I bought. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
No,
I have no concept for how long 550s have been around.
I felt bad about going after the 550s a little bit
You
on
broke some hearts,
on
Barrett.
the in or out list
You
because
broke
I
some
knew
hearts,
yeah
dude.
because I knew I knew that would be a little bit inflammatory. And I want to say, like, I still see pictures of people in 550s and I'm like, those look great. And then I pull them out of the box and I put them on my feet and I'm like, I fucking hate these. What? And so this year I think it was earlier this year. Yeah, it was earlier this year. I bought the high top 650s
Oh,
because
okay.
prior to that, all of this stuff had been easily movable for at least retail value.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'll see what they're about. Sure.
Yeah.
You know, if
Ha
if you're on the list, you basically the ALD New Balance draws are essentially like a
You know you're gonna get
you
it.
know you're gonna get it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll try out a pair of these. I did the same thing with the gray and white suede ones that just recently released because I
Mhm.
was like, okay, I was out on 550s, but I really like the way these look
I
with the
did
gray
like those.
with the gray and white. I brought them in again. I put them on my feet. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this to myself? And now I can't move either pair of those for retail. Like I'm gonna have to take a
See,
$40 loss on both pairs
I'm annoyed with you because
to get rid of
you're
them.
pressuring me unintentionally to buy shoes out of FOMO, and it's the Tom Sachs like general purpose shoe. I want the white ones, so I've wanted the white ones.
Yeah,
I still want them. I don't want them for $600. I just want them for cheap,
yeah.
and it's never gonna happen. And I'm coming to terms with that.
But see, you actually want that shoe. It's not. It's like it's not FOMO. Like if they
Yeah, but I don't
if
think
they
I would have
re
wanted them had you not gotten the orange ones, and then
yeah.
suddenly I'm looking at them, and you're like, "Yeah, they're comfortable," and I'm like, "Oh man, they are."
Yeah,
Oh,
like
it's killing me.
what I do, and like you can do this, you can get away with this on like on the sneakers app, for example, with Nike stuff because Nike will let you return anything.
Yeah.
But like when New Balance drops on their site and it's something like special or hype, like it's no returns. Like when ALD does it, it's no
Mhm.
returns. Like, and I have to with all that type of stuff, like unless I am 1,000,000% positive that it's going to flip or that I'm going to be able to
Yeah,
get my money
you
back.
gotta rein it in.
I gotta rein that in because now I'm stuck with shoes that I got nothing to
I
do
just
with.
donated a bunch of shoes.
So
A bunch of shoes. There was a pair of 550s in there. They were torn
were
to
they
shit.
were they cooked?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
okay.
cooked.
Yeah.
They were cooked. I wouldn't have felt right trying to like actually exchange
Yeah,
currency for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
They were cooked. I have a shoe resolution. I'm gonna finish out my resolutions. I need to invest in some high end, very classic, quiet sneakers
Okay.
that I can wear out somewhere that to like a generic thing. Like I'm not looking for anything that's like going to stand out. I'm looking for something that's going to blend in. Like I want some common projects that aren't the common projects price point. I want something very, very low key, and I need to do it because right now all I have is like kind of like
But if this is a go-to wear all the time, blend in, elevated look, like why would you not just pick a pair of common
because
projects?
I don't know if I want to wear them all the time. I don't know. There's something about common projects that just breaks my heart looking at that price.
Yeah.
I need to get them as a gift from my wife. That is how I acquire a pair. But that's a good point. Like I am so big on cost per wear that I know that I would end up getting the most out of it. Another issue is that I have trouble. I need to like go to like a location and
And
look at
try
a million different ones
right,
and
right,
see what
right.
looks good because online it's so difficult to see.
Yeah.
And my final one is just I've been wearing the same green suit to every single wedding for the past 2 years. I have to go buy a new suit. I have to go get a new suit, so I'm dedicating myself. I'm gonna get a new suit before summer. It's gonna be new suit summer, and I'm gonna be flexing, and I'm gonna
Okay.
be happy with myself.
All right.
And those are my resolutions. If I accomplish even one of them, that is a win for the year. Uh, Now it's time to look back.
All
We've got
right.
3 different categories. We've got our trend of the year, we have our aesthetic of the year, and we have our fit of the year, which has 2 different breakout categories. One is for celebrities and one is for ourselves.
Okay.
Let's start off with trend of the year.
Yeah.
I had several that were up for debate, and to be honest, I still don't know which one I have as my trend of the year. It's gonna be a game time decision. I had cigarettes to coming back with all those cool kids in Brooklyn. I had low bowls, which we discovered are very, very popular. The coastal grandmother aesthetic, which I would love to adopt at some point, and maybe even the frazzled Englishwoman aesthetic, something we didn't even get to. Uh,
Yeah, we sure did not.
you got to think caviar bumps is going to get a little nod there.
I mean, you know.
Bladder Botox en route to the Hamptons, still one of the bougier things we talked about this year, and obviously Negroni Spagliatos were very top of mind for a lot of people. But I hate to say it. I think my trend of the year, I have to do this because I think this is what I actually did the most of and I actually hopped on trend with. I think I'm going low bowls, baby. I think we're
Wow.
eating out of
Okay.
bowls
Okay.
that are also plates this year, and I think we are loving it.
You know, I looked down in my dishwasher the other day, and it was just like nothing but low bowls.
Dude.
And I'm like, why do we even have plates at
Dude.
this point? We never use
We
the
bought
plates.
we bought plates at the same time as we bought our low bowls. We might as well just
Yeah,
like
you
break
don't-
them.
Yeah. When do you ever use the plates?
Don't.
Almost never.
Don't. It's always a low bowl.
Because like no matter what you like.
Call me Lisa Low Bowl.
Here's the thing: when you're sitting down for a lunch or a dinner or whatever, chances are you could benefit from a little high side.
You need the high side.
to scoop a little something up into your utensils with.
I didn't know I needed it until I had it, and now it's all like I feel like my food is just like in a half pipe, and it's like a world class snowboarder just hitting tricks left and right. I love the low bowl life. I'm so thankful that when we started this podcast, you said I think we got to talk about low bowls
Low
tomorrow.
bowls, yeah.
You changed my life forever because you made me realize, you know what? I've got some beauties in front of me, and I got to use them.
Okay. Well, my trend of the year is something that probably made an appearance on at least 4 episodes this year.
Okay.
I kind of zagged. I did, I went with clothes here. My trend of the year is the Birkenstock Boston.
Oh, man, don't do this to me. I've been
Um,
wanting them so bad.
Well, let me talk it through with you because I'm at a little bit
Okay.
of a crossroads myself here.
Okay.
You will recall that about halfway through the year, I decided that I put this pair on my wish list as well. I wanted a kind of a dupe, but like it was essentially like an elevated dupe
Yes.
from Isabel Marant called the Mervyn sandal. I ended up snagging those for a price that I was really, really happy with. I've worn them like 2 times, and now every time I put them on my feet, I feel like I look like a hobbit or an elf, or
You don't look like a hobbit.
No, I look like I'm coming from the Renaissance fair because of the way they did the leather going like fully over the toe of the shoe.
Okay.
So you don't get that cork bed midsole around, which kind of
Yeah.
like separates the clog look
Yeah.
in between the buckle and the way that the
Kind
leather
of feel
is
like you have wood
constructed.
shoes, like you're from the Netherlands or something.
It's too elfish. Meanwhile, the Birkenstock Bostons, especially the taupe suede, they are listed on StockX
Yes.
now. Will.
Yes, it's devastating. I went there the other day.
You Google Birkenstock Boston, and every link you click on, except for like unless you want a shearling lined one, is going to be sold out pretty
And
much.
by the time we can get some, everyone's going to be over them.
And so that's essentially my dilemma. It's also why I'm naming it the 2022 trend of the year because they are so ubiquitous now. I see them so often on such a wide swath of people, and it's still a trend that I like. I like the look of. I see the Birkenstock Bostons, and I'm like, good choice, man or woman or any
Sally's
other
been wearing
person.
them every single day.
And-
every single day.
To that same end, to that same degree, I'm like, I think I've missed this. I think it's over. Like, I think I can't. As the hosts of Retail Therapy, I don't think that we can jump on a trend this late.
I know. It'd be tough for us. It'd be tough for us to do. The thing is, we physically can't. Like,
And that's the other
I
problem.
went to
is
the
that
site the other
I
day.
can't get a pair right
I
now
went to the
anyway,
site. I went to Birkenstock the other day. I thought surely they can't still be out. Like, surely they can't. They are, and
They definitely
and
are.
you're right, like, the only place that has them is, like, StockX, and that seems crazy to me,
It's insane. That's
like,
insane.
my buddy I had lunch with my buddy earlier this year, it was in probably April, I think it was yeah, I think it had to have been April, and he showed up to this, and this was but people were wearing Bostons at this point, but, I didn't have a lot of people in my crew wearing them, and he showed up with some purple ones, and I was like, "Oh my god." Like, I need those. But I was like, "No, no, I can't swagger jack him this close. I'm gonna wait till fall when I'm actually gonna wear these Bostons and not worry about it." By the time fall hit, like, there was no shot I was gonna be able
There
to get them at
yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
I don't even know how Sally got them. She probably got them for, like, $500 on
Well,
StockX or
no,
GOAT.
Sally was looking to cop at a time. It was just on the precipice. They hadn't landed on StockX yet. Places were restocking. You could even pre-order from places that were like, "We expect our shipment within the next month." Speaking of waiting 3 or 4 weeks to something to ship,
Mhm.
but it was right. But essentially, like holiday shopping started. StockX added them, and I'm almost positive with this. I'm pretty sure that like monitors and bots and cook groups have Birkenstock Bostons on their radar now.
Don't
Like
I
that's it's why
I'm out.
this is part of this is why I put like reselling like on my out list, like because it's just so annoying.
Mhm. Mhm.
And yeah, so I'm torn on whether to make a last minute play for these to try to hunt something down
I'm
because
too scared. I think
because
you're
it's
right.
you
I
know
don't think we can.
it's weird because it's like sometimes something becomes hot and it becomes more of a generalized trend and you can fill the void from a lot of different places or with a lot of different things.
You can't with
And
these.
I think with the Burke Bostons, you needed the Burks.
Mhm.
You had to go Burke. You stuck with the real brand that was the OG, the one that had always done it, the one that was doing it right. There's just no because this is, by the way, the Isabel Marant is my second attempt at an elevated dupe.
I'm
Don't
not
forget that I had the Yucatan Sows as well, which fly off your feet if you take a step that's more than like 8 inches.
You ever watch The
You had
Birdcage?
to just like shuffle in
Do you
those.
ever
I had
watch
to
The
sell them.
Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane?
No.
They're in that, they have, a housekeeper, and he's not used to wearing shoes. He's used to wearing very little clothes. And, he decides to put on some loafers, and he can't walk in the loafers, and every time he walks in them, he either like goes flying or the shoes go flying, and then that's what I'm imagining you
That
doing
no,
with some
that is how it was. Like I think I wore those probably 3 times, and when I wore them, I would just like shuffle.
yeah.
I just wouldn't lift up my
If
heels.
if you don't have a pair of Bostons on by February 1st, like, I think we just need to move on. We
Yeah.
just need to go forward because I'm not gonna add any companies. There's other people out there that are selling clogs out there these days that are very similar, but I can't bring myself to go on with the other ones. I can't be the person that shows up with a Dell DJ when everyone else shows up with the first iPod. Like, I was that guy. It didn't go over well.
You had a Zune,
Dude, I didn't have a Zune. I did not have a Zune. I had the Dell DJ,
the
a
Dell
very,
DJ.
very niche, MP3 player. Very good. What, Randy? Don't judge me for my Dell DJ. My parents didn't want to splash for an iPod. Uh, Now we have to go on to our aesthetic of the year. Something we did most episodes this year is bring up some sort of aesthetic. And for me, this one was a much easier decision for me compared to the trend of the year.
Okay.
For the trend of the year, I really pulled from a lot of stuff that we had already talked about. And I'm going to do the same thing with aesthetic of the year. The aesthetic of the year that I'm going to dub my aesthetic of the year is the Night Lux aesthetic. And part of the reason I'm doing this is because it's become so widespread that we're finally seeing the Instagram version that we knew, that the kind of just like chuggy, like bright, like staged Instagram. Now we're getting messy shots of dinner tables with like martinis, just like, sweating everywhere. We got glasses of wine, just dirty pasta plates. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. People are getting sexy out at dark restaurants again. The pandemic's over. We're all loving life, and we're finally getting away from just those curated, clean, and simplistic Instagram feeds that we just all got tired of. I'm here for the night looks.
So that's your aesthetic of the year.
It's of
Yeah.
2022. That is my aesthetic of the year. And plus, this stuff looks great in portrait mode. If you have a new phone and you're rocking portrait mode
Yeah.
and you're doing it in the dark, like your photos are just turning out great these days.
Yeah. You mentioned some good ones. I really enjoyed kind of everything that I think Antwave tried to capture. The kind of, the crafty off kilter kind
Mhm,
of hippy dippy
mhm.
beat that a lot of people were rocking with and that really kind of consumed a lot of menswear for the most part.
Dude, I've been putting like pins on like my tote bag lately, and it
Yeah.
just makes me feel like
Yeah.
I'm like a kitschy little ant.
But in much the same way that my Birkenstock Boston selection for trend of the year was kind of like a look back on what I think dominated the most. I'm also going to do the same for aesthetic. Your picks, I think, are almost like more like they're looking back, but they're also looking forward. They're kind of like ones that I feel like you are ready for to ready to
I'm
continue
ready
into
for it to go
2023.
from a niche, culture podcast.
Yeah.
I'm ready for them to for everyone to be doing it.
For me, the aesthetic of the year I think was clean girl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
the
It's good.
and I'm trying not to be too like have too much recency bias
Mhm.
with these selections as
No, but you're
well.
right. You're
And
right.
like for the most part, like what I really really like felt like I dove deep into, especially the kind of March through August, was basically like Haley Bieber fits.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and I mean, she had her line come out. Kourtney Kardashian just released Lemmy gummies. Kim Kardashian changed her entire line. I mean, the amount of beauty that's come out that has nothing to do with makeup or anything like that is just it's taken over. Brad Pitt,
Yeah,
dude
yeah.
doesn't even know what's going on. Yeah, clean girl aesthetic. I think you're right. I think you're right. I didn't even take that into account.
And again, it's one that probably is like, it's not necessarily like over or dead, but it's definitely not the bleeding edge anymore either.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's saturated at this
Yeah,
point.
right.
And also I think it's difficult to get a lot of these products from a lot of these celebrity lines. I don't think that getting I think there's certain road products that are really difficult for people to find. And so it's just hard. And honestly, no, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I was gonna ask if we were just getting Hailey Bieber just overexposure, but I don't want to live a life
A
where we
life
are.
where that's what's
Yeah,
happening.
I take it back.
Look, here's the thing with Haley Bieber overexposure. It's hard for somebody that doesn't really do anything
Mhm, mhm.
to be
She
overexposed.
hits red carpets and
And I
posts
mean that
vibey
and
Instagram
I mean that
albums.
in the nicest way
I
possible. But
mean,
like beyond her new skincare line,
no one's
she's
listening to this
not
and you're like, "Do these guys hate Hailey Bieber? Do these are they
like her main job is to like look dope as hell for paparazzi shots,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That's how she moves skincare product.
Yeah.
You want to look like the her in the paparazzi
Yeah, she
shots.
has really
So
good skin, and I appreciate that about her.
but yeah, that just kind of the hair pulled tight, the middle parts, the big blazers,
Mhm,
gold chains,
mhm.
like crop tops or bras as tops, like under all that, like all that kind of that clean girl, it girl look
This is a good call.
it's what I'm crowning for 2022 aesthetic of the year.
I think it's time for the main event.
Woo!
Fit of the year, my friends. This was stressful. There's a lot to take in here. Barrett, I've sent you two different
Yeah,
photos.
yeah.
These are little collages that I've made with some of my nominees this year. I don't know how deep you went into your nominees, but I had some time to kill. And so some of the nominees that have been up here, two of these are from Venice, from the film festival. We've got backless Timothy Chalamet, just absolutely killing it in what looks I mean, he's just crushing some red silk, almost like romper, just a backless romper almost.
Yeah,
Uh,
this was big.
we also have Florence Pugh when she showed up in her all purple. I've just been loving purple and Merlot and just all those colors this year. And when Florence Pugh showed up in this was just during peak Don't Worry Darling. And it
Yep,
was
yep.
her time to show, you know what? I'm above all this and I'm going to stay above all this. And this was her purple matching set that she wore beforehand, that she wore before her, what people called the revenge dress that she wore. I just absolutely loved it. She posted an Instagram where she was just rocking out a Aperol spritz. She killed it. And then the spray on dress from Bella Hadid also made my list just because it still is kind of blowing my mind a little bit. And I kind of want to do this sometime. I don't want to wear it in public, but I kind of want someone to just paint me.
This is a great callback. This is a certainly a fashion moment that deserves, another look here as we close out the year, I think.
And then my other looks, and none of these are my looks of the year. I'm glad you put this one up
Oh,
first.
okay. Okay.
For my other one,
These are your HMs, your honorable mentions.
those are my honorable mentions. Here we also have one of the first looks we ever talked about was Tom Holland just rocking a Basquiat mug just out in public. And if my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure that mug costs about $175. So walking through the streets of London with it is very cocky.
Whoa, wait. What's the mug?
It's like a Basquiat collaboration mug because everyone knows that his estate is just being run into the ground. everyone's collaborating and just using it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this mug is very expensive. He's kind of rocking what could be a tiny beanie at some point, depending on how he wants to do it. The Carhartt, the jeans, and then he's got Zendaya's hand around him. This is just king shit all around. Cameron, he did what my summer was hoping to do, and that is just rock lace all summer. Cameron from White Lotus,
Yeah,
his
Cameron
beach
from yeah.
fit the day that he was flirting with Harper.
Yeah, yeah. This was so. I talked to you a little bit about this when I was watching Bachelor in Paradise this summer.
Yeah, that like these
About
guys are
how
actually dressing
like
well.
I was like having trouble wrapping my head around the fact that like bros were kind of leaning into some style that I was a fan of.
Uh-huh.
And Cameron just yeah, he just dropped a dime on us. You know what I mean? Like this was great. This was great. And Theo James looks amazing. Like he crushed the lace, he crushed the crochet shirt, the short swim shorts, just the Sicilian tan. Little 5 o'clock shadow.
It
all
had
the
to
time.
happen. It had to happen, and it felt good knowing that I also went nips out in Italy when we were there.
Yeah, you were right.
And seeing Theo James going nips out in Italy, it's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then I have Martha Stewart's hungover fit in Las Vegas, where she's just going full oatmeal season and just being an absolute queen. But I think this is a very difficult decision for me. I think I have to do it. I think I'm going Theo James, White Lotus.
Okay, wow.
It was a signature scene. It was a signature moment in the series where we still don't even know what happened between them. Lace, I think, took over so many people's wardrobes this summer, whether they were rocking it with nothing under, whether they were doing it with like what were you calling them? We don't call them wife beaters on this podcast. We call them
wife pleasers.
We call them wife pleasers. And you know, it's just I just loved it. And I think White Lotus really took over for everybody. And I think I'm going to look back on 2022 as the year that White Lotus just did it to him. I'm going with Theo James. Congratulations, sir.
All right.
He narrowly beat out what I think. If I had to go with the other one, I think Florence Pugh might have gotten my nod, but I'm going with Theo James.
Did you want to give your own looks a look here?
Sure, we can do that as well.
Yeah?
We can do that as well. The nominations that I have for my own looks were two different things. Barrett, you can put if you do you have them?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Let me get these up for you.
One look is one that I wore twice. I know you're not supposed to replicate these looks. I know you're not supposed to do stuff, but one of them was where I wore my my lace shirt or my kind of whatever shirt.
Yeah, right.
I wore this in Cabo San Lucas. I also wore it. I think I talked about it last episode when we were in Positano, and I wore that because it went off without a hitch in Cabo, and I absolutely loved it. I got to wear my favorite loafers, my Belgian loafers from my wedding, and I just wore some classic white pants. I don't remember if these were J. Crew denim or what. And then the other look that I said it was going to try to rival it was all Drake's. I had a Drake's white linen shirt for our boat day. I had Drake's, my favorite new swim trunks, probably my favorite swim trunks I've ever had, if I'm being honest.
These are Drake's?
Yes, they fit so nicely. They are so, I just love them, but I have to go with the nips out. It was the year of the nipple. I'm going with the lace shirt. I'm going with the black lace shirt, the white denim, and my Belgian loafers. That's my fit of the year. It got worn twice in two really high pressure situations, a group dinner in Cabo for Dylan's wedding, and then a night where I knew we were going to have to get some pictures taken that might get framed in the future when we went to Positano.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
If I was wearing them in those pressure filled situations, I think I have to give them the nod for the fit of the year.
As they say, that's a framer.
What do you got for us, Barrett?
So I think I may have I kind of missed the boat here. I'm not as prepared as I wish I was for this, at least with the celebrity fits of the year. I didn't have time to dive in, and
luckily for you, I had way too much time
and recall all of my favorite fits. So with the limited time that I did have, I just tried to rack my brain and think about what stood out to me the most. What could I just pull from memory where I was like, what? Or I was like, yo. Did you watch Barry this season?
Betty? No,
Barry?
I did not watch this season. I don't know if I'll pick it up again.
Okay. All good. There's a bit in there that I kind of started doing. I was just going to touch on it real quick, but
it just got so serious.
It's dark. Okay. Do you remember when Sydney Sweeney got called out for, going to her mom's birthday party?
Yeah. When she went to her mom's birthday and everyone tried to cancel her.
And everybody tried to cancel her.
As if she frosted the cake herself.
Yeah. Yes. Well, if I recall correctly, the next public appearance that she made was was at a party for, I believe, yeah, it was the L Women in Hollywood event in Los Angeles. It looks like this happened in mid to late October. And she showed up in this look that was straight off the runway from a brand that I'm not really familiar with called Roke, uh, and absolutely crushed it. And I thought it
Dude,
was just such a statement.
this is so Julia Fox.
It's very Julia Fox.
Very Julia Fox.
It's very Julia Fox. But she, she was one of the stars of the year, right? Like
Mhm.
absolutely, had so many moments on Euphoria. Obviously, White Lotus that was coming off White Lotus season 1, and so to pull up in just this kind of crazy all leather look that's of course that's like very revealing and very edgy and very got a little dominatrix BDSM type thing
Little goth.
going
Little
on,
Wednesday.
little goth going on. But I thought it was I thought it was a really really good look. She crushes most of what she wears, and I just liked the kind of
I like the wet hair.
and it all of it in like this package that was kind of like a clapback
Mhm.
without having to say anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just thought was pretty great.
I just came up with another fit that should have gotten a nod from us.
Like, tell me what
It
it
was
is.
I don't even know where Harry Styles was going. He might have been showing up in Venice, but it was when he wore the purple blazer over like a green and purple cardigan. He just had the leopard print bags, and I mean, he was just killing it. I also would have loved to nominate one of his fits from when he did his residency over in,
Dude, those were all yeah.
but I didn't go to the concert, so I would feel like I was stealing some valor there from you. Anyway, what were you going to say next?
Yeah, okay, that's kind of like just pulling from memory. I think that's probably my celeb fit of the year, and
Give us the personal bear fit of the
yeah,
year.
okay, all right. So from my personal, I will now see. I think this is my most liked Instagram ever. So I am going to pull up my own lace moment, if you don't mind. Let me get it queued up here.
I'm heading to your page right now. At Barrett Dudley, for those keeping track at home. At Barrett Dudley.
Yeah, this is okay. One sec, y'all. Sorry.
I know exactly what you're going to go with. You have actually, now that I'm going through your page, you got numerous ones that you could go through.
All right. So here's my look. This is from Dylan's wedding. You can see more of these photos on my Instagram page at Barrett Dudley. But this was my green suit with my Amélie Andor. Ring the bell. Thank you, Randy.
First bell ring of the year.
Guess who took a lot of these photos, by the way?
Probably producer
Randy.
He didn't take any of me.
He was a perfect Instagram boyfriend that day. Thank you, Randy. But yeah, so I think this is I also pulled up. This is another lace moment from Charleston for me.
Dude, it's a year of lace for us.
Which was probably one of my favorite summer fits. And then let's see what else I got here. This was this was from Telluride, probably my favorite casual look. I had a really big year with the one thing I did do right, the Clark's Wallabies.
Yeah.
See, I just latched on even when I was uncomfortable with them, and I made it work.
What's the heat index say about Wallabies right now?
I don't think they became saturated or over
so
popular enough to where I think
the Wallaby is a shoe that when I see it online, I think to myself, I hate how that looks. When I see it on someone's foot and they are actually wearing it, I think, I should really buy some of those. I don't know why. I'm usually not like that. I usually don't have that huge difference. But when I see it just standalone, I'm not into them. When I see it on in that photo alone, I was like, yeah, those look great. I need a pair of those.
Yeah, and then I'll end the year with one as well here. This is one of my more recent pickups. This jacket here is from John Elliott, and it's just a deck jacket, but it's maybe my favorite thing that I've purchased this year because it just feels like a cocoon when you wear it. And it does this weird shape thing where it's almost wraps you from the bottom up instead of from your shoulders down.
See, I think I would like what you're talking about.
If that makes sense.
I think it kind of does.
And I basically just pulled inspo with the white shirt and light denim off of one of their styled editorial photos. But This has kind of been my favorite fall
Is that
book
your
so
garment of the
far.
year?
I think that's probably it might be my garment of the year. I think it's probably my garment of the
Oh,
year.
fuck, I didn't even think of my no, I know what my garment of the year is. My garment of the year is my denim AYR shirt that gives pottery. I've been wearing it all fall. I love it, it's
Have
cozy.
you stepped into the office with it on again?
Yeah, I have. I
Yeah.
have. I have. I also wore it in our Christmas card photos just to solidify
Hell yeah.
that it was gonna go
Yes.
down in history.
Yes.
It was
That's
I
how you
needed it to be
that is how you lock something in. You
yeah,
say, "This is here to stay." I'm that true confidence right there. Send
I
it
knew that
blasted out
I
to
knew that I
everybody you
had
know.
to make sure that it was going to live on and that, my son would look back one day and say, "Wow, in 2022, my dad wore a denim shirt."
In 2022, my dad was really giving pottery.
He was giving so much
He was
pottery
really
then.
giving arts and crafts.
Barrett, to close things out today, do we have any knee-jerk reactions to people's reactions to our in and out lists? You didn't get you actually got a lot of people on your side for a lot of the stuff that you had. The two biggest things that I had that I took away from this were that people were not happy with my dirty martini
That's
take
right.
as well as my oysters. But to those people, I need to say you did not listen because I'm not anti people having those. I simply think that we can do better. I simply think that we can make some choices in 2023 that will allow us to expand our horizons. But I mean, you should be pretty happy with how the general public took on your lists.
Yeah. Yeah, it was mostly really good feedback. I was surprised by both reactions almost to the QR code thing.
Yeah,
Overwhelming, like,
yeah.
support for it. But then there were also people. So I was surprised that the support was like so,
No one,
yes, this.
no one shifted my
But
view.
but then people were really going to bat, like a very small vocal minority, but
Okay.
people were really going to bat for the Q- for
The
the
reasons
QR
people
codes.
said that we need QR codes, germs.
Dumb.
We're
Everything
all
has
hyper
germs.
conscious of germs.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we just went through COVID. Uh, we had people saying that it's so they don't have to reprint the menus. Okay, I get it. I get it. I kind of whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the people that say that it saves waiters and waitresses time. As a former waiter, some of the best time that I had to converse and impress a table was while handing out the menus and saying, "Hey, how you guys doing today?" Like that time
Right.
is
The intro,
valuable to me.
yes, yes,
Like
yes. The intro
that was a
time.
good
Yeah,
way to
yeah.
show like, "Hey, I'm a fun guy. You're gonna enjoy your meal. Let's do this." But yeah, you that was polarizing. You had a lot of people watch that reel, Barrett.
I know. Yeah, it was great. It's great. But I also just wanted to give a shout out to everybody that did just respond with how much they liked that podcast. Copper Blues, especially on Instagram, he told us that this was amazing and that he and his wife spent 4 hours over several cocktails dissecting our lists and then making their own,
Love to hear
which
that.
is just basically like all the affirmation that I need to know that we're doing something fun on this podcast. So I'll pick a few off of their list because he sent them to me. I asked him to send them to
Love
me.
it.
Just to kind of wrap it up here. Let's see. And I don't know. So I don't know he sent me both of their in and out. So I don't know whose is whose. But here's some ins. Air dried hair, which I think kind of plays into the Sydney Sweeney kind of wet thing, which
Yeah.
is like wet, but also it's air drying.
Sally,
because
and
it's
I
wet.
I need to give credit to my wife. She told me to do this for our in and out list. She said like hair that looks like you just got out of the shower and didn't touch it. She
Okay.
begged
Yeah,
me to put it
yeah.
on the list, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not doing it.
Short nails. I,
Well,
I I see a lot of acrylics out there.
Oh,
Are we going back to
I'm
short
a
nails?
nail picker. I pick constantly. Can we say that picked nails are in?
uh, curated weekly newsletters. Shouts to Will.
Love
over
that.
here.
Let's ride.
Yeah.
Love me a newsletter.
What else we got? In peanuts. Peanuts are in.
Just peanuts in
And just
general.
peanuts, yeah. And then dinner parties. I love that one. I feel like we're of the age where like I'd love to start seeing some dinner parties.
Even if we don't have dinner
know.
parties, I think we need to start having like cocktail hours.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a cocktail party tonight.
Oh,
I can't have a
dinner
cocktail
parties.
party.
Dinner parties in a like that. This is tough for our generation because we are the basically all the generations before us when they were 35 years old. They all had houses.
Yeah.
So it was like much more of like a thing. Like
Yeah.
we're the houseless generation essentially.
Yeah. I want my son
and so
to
it's
grow
I
up in
think
the
it's
same
much
way
more
that I grew
difficult.
up, which is navigating my parents' like dinner parties.
Yeah.
Like bumping into people's knees and listening to that, like watching The Sandlot from the master bedroom while I could hear everyone downstairs like dropping glasses and stuff. It was great. Great way to grow up.
But yeah, thank you to everybody that listened and gave us feedback, whether it was in support or disagreeing.
We had a fun year on retail therapy
The
overall.
disagreement is part of it as well. I mean, if we didn't ruffle a few feathers, and then what fun would that have been?
Exactly. That's why you do an in-out list to ruffle feathers. To everyone out there who listened over the last year, thank you. We did almost 30 episodes over the course of 2022. We didn't really know what this was going to turn into. We didn't really know how it was going to go, where we were going to go with it. But I think overall it became a pretty successful venture, and I think it's going to be something we keep on doing. So, yeah, welcome to 2023. I'm glad that we dropped this episode on the first of the year, and yeah, onward and upward.
Can't wait
Any
for
closing thoughts,
2023.
Barrett?
No, you really said it all. How many episodes did we do this year?
Almost 30. I think we ended up doing 28, 29,
Nice,
maybe
nice.
30.
Well,
I don't know if the Jerry Seinfeld in Kith episode
did we
actually made it as an official
Did we do a
episode.
full year? Did we start in January?
We did start in January.
Yeah.
January 16th, I think, was the
Okay,
first
so
episode.
year 2 of retail therapy. Can't wait.
All right. We'll see you guys probably maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks. Either way, we'll see you guys later.